Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. So today I am talking about Hyun-Jin signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. So at the same time, this is both a really cool and really weird signing. Not really weird, but just interesting signing because I was not expecting the Blue Jays to go ahead and heavily pursue Hyun-Jin as much as they did. I saw rumors that they were going after him, and then yesterday, I saw that, things were getting closer, and there was more of an advancement towards a deal, and then, of course, we got the notification. I think I was sleeping. I woke up to it this morning. But Hyun-Jin signed with the Blue Jays for a whole lot of money. At 32 years old, this guy's making out really well considering some of the seasons he's had in his past. We're going to talk about that all in just a couple of minutes, though. So if you are ready for this video, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Hyun-Jin signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. Left-handed pitcher Hyun-Jin and the Toronto Blue Jays have agreed to a 4-year, $80 million contract, which is, of course, giving the Southpaw $20 million annually. Now, again, this is a pretty surprising contract. I wasn't expecting them to get this big of a name, but it's not the only addition they've added to their rotation so far this offseason. The Jays have also picked up Tanner Roark and Chase Anderson, so those are three pretty solid starters. Imagine if they still had Marcus Stroman in the mix. They'd have a pretty hefty top four. It wouldn't be one of the best in baseball, but it'd still be pretty solid for a young team who is going into my next point now, is trying to rebuild. Now, they have control over Hyun-Jin for the next 4 years. Of course, I think they'd love to make it to October baseball at least one time in that span, but at the same time, they need to go ahead and expand. They need to broaden and get more bullpen guys. They need some better bats and some gloves as well, like some defensive guys, but for the most part, honestly, you want Vlad Jr. to have a nice sophomore year campaign. Kevin Biggio is going to be back in the league again, of course, and he's making another year at his Major League Baseball level. And then you have other guys as well, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and all that good stuff. You have Rowdy Tellez. So you have a decent team. You did lose a lot of guys to free agency, but you are making some new moves here and there. Hyun-Jin is nice. He's probably going to end up being their ace. But the next part for me is I think they overpaid just a little bit. Now, Ryu is 32 years old and has many injuries over the past couple of years. He is injury prone big time. So maybe going over to the Blue Jays, having a new trainer might eliminate some of those problems. I sure hope that's the case. But $80 million for 4 years, you just have to hope he stays healthy for at least 3 out of the 4 years and he pitches a full season. He's also only reached at least 160 innings pitched in one season, so I don't know how much they're going to get out of him, like duration, stamina-wise, all that good stuff. So I'm really hoping he is the 2019 form of himself as he goes to the Blue Jays for the next 4 seasons. That'd be great. Of course, you guys know I'm a huge Blue Jays fan. They're one of my top favorite teams, but they really, I hope they get the better end of this deal here. Yes, that is a lot of money for Hyun-Jin but if he stays healthy, they'll be fine. If there are problems and he doesn't really get a lot of innings in, it's going to be a little bit of trouble. But he racked up strikeouts on occasion. He had a league best ERA or a National League best ERA in 2019 and came off of an all-star year, his first ever all-star year with the Dodgers in 2019. So he does have some good sides to him, and if he is 2019 Hyun-Jin going into 2020, the Blue Jays lucked out. Speaking of the 2019 form of the Southpaw, he pitched in 29 games with a 14-5 record and a 2.32 ERA and a total of 182.2 innings pitched with 163 strikeouts and a 1.01 whip last season. In his career, he has tossed 126 games, racking up a 54-33 win-loss record to his name, as well as a 2.98 ERA, which honestly isn't too terrible. He has 740 and a third innings pitched and 665 career strikeouts with a 1.16 whip. So when this guy is healthy, he has great seasons and is proven to be one of the best in the game. 2019 was his best year by far. I know there was a span, I think, in 2016 and 2017. He had only pitched in one game. So, of course, you really need to have him healthy. And I've mentioned that many times already these first couple minutes of this video. I'm sure I'll bring it up more, as we continue on with this video. But that is key right now. The Blue Jays and Hyun-Jin they need his health to be at the best it can be. They need a great trainer, which I don't really know who they have off the top of my head for the Blue Jays, but if he stays healthy, he will be very good. And he just came off of his only National League All-Star year in 2019 with the Dodgers. He was one of their best pitchers. Again, a National League best ERA of 2.32. And he does have a career ERA of sub-3, which is very nice in 126 games. He does have great potential. He's got a lot of great stuff. He's filthy on the mound. And this pickup does show that the Toronto Blue Jays are trying to get a competitive side to them. That's a very talented AL East at this this point in time, you have the Yankees, the Rays, and the Red Sox. Red Sox coming off of a struggling 2019. And then you have the Orioles, who we all know the story with the Orioles. They're not doing that great. They're also in the middle of a rebuild. But the Rays and the Yankees are two very big teams. Now that the Blue Jays will be playing them, just as much as they do every other year, but they have Hyun-Jin Ryu, which can give them a little more wins or keep them in games a little bit longer and just even out of the division as well. It's a very nice pickup. He is a competitive guy. This is going to be a team that is going to try to work for more wins every year. In 2019, they're trying to improve their record from 2020. So I really like this. I mean, I love this pickup being a Blue Jays fan. Just some of it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But either way, great pickup. And it does show that they are trying to do something within the next few years, which is great. On that note, the 2019 Jays finished 4th in the AL East with a 67-95 win-loss record. That equals a .414 win percentage, and they were only ahead of the Baltimore Orioles in the division. Of course, they were behind the Yankees, Rays, and Red Sox in that order. So they've been struggling a little bit. Of course, 2015 was their best season these past couple of years. When they made it to postseason baseball, they were in the playoffs. They had a scary good team at that time, too. Josh Donaldson, Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion, Troy Tulowitzki, just to name a few. But now they are going ahead trying to get this young team to a better spot in the division and in the game with a rebuild. They're in the midst of trying to add more players, better players, and big name players to the squad. Hyun-Jin Ryu is a great start. And honestly, they have a pretty good rotation at this point. A very good 1-2 punch with Hyun-Jin Ryu and Tanner Roark for the money that they have and the players that they have. That's a pretty good first two guys in that rotation. And honestly, if we look at the full potential rotation right now, it's Hyun-Jin Ryu, Tanner Roark, Chase Anderson, Matt Shoemaker, Trent Thornton, and Ryan Barucki, or somewhere along those lines. And those last three guys that I mentioned, Matt Shoemaker, Trent Thornton, and Ryan Barucki, are all interchangeable. I don't really know where they're going to go. And honestly, Ryu, Roark, and Anderson could be a completely different order as well. It might not be, that Ryu is the ace, Roark the number 2 guy, but whatever the case may be, I'm sure they're going to try to figure it out strategically. Either way, they still have some pretty big names for starters with Ryu and Roark, who's done pretty well over the years as well. So they are working on a rebuild. They do have some pretty solid starters now. They need some bullpen help, a better bat in different positions would be great as well, and some more defensive guys, but they could easily be back in October baseball within the next year or two if they can make some moves, make some trades. Honestly, I heard that they're trying to trade for David Price, which would be really nice too, get him back in a Blue Jays uniform. So they're definitely looking on a better side now and a better note going into 2020 than they were in 2019. They picked up some great guys. They are in the middle of this rebuild, which will definitely help them. But I love the Blue Jays. I want to see them back in a competitive baseball standpoint soon. When the Yankees play them, because I am a big Yankees fan, I follow them primarily for all of you guys who don't know. But when the Yankees play the Blue Jays, I'm almost expecting us to kind of take the series, or the majority of the series, if not split. So I would like to see, maybe within the next 2 years or so, maybe even less, the Yankees, Blue Jays play each other. All right, well, I want to see what happens here. We don't really know who's going to win the majority of the set. Just because I want the Blue Jays to be a better team and a more competitive team. That is definitely possible now with Hyun-Jin Ryu. But I absolutely love this pickup. I think it's great. 4 years, $80 million might be a little bit much for $20 million annually for the Southpaw. But honestly, they did what they had to do to get him, and I absolutely love that. Hyun-Jin Ryu to the Toronto Blue Jays, a nice little pickup. So guys, that's going to end it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I want to hear your thoughts about this Southpaw signing with the Blue Jays down below in the comment section. But guys, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Peace.